Impeachment. FX. American Crime Stories. Ryan Murphy. I was all in. I was all on board. I told myself, I wanted to see, because like I said, when I was coming up, you knew about the ultimate scandal of the 90s, which was Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Everybody knew about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky as a kid in school. I was about 10 years old when it happened, so I was really starting to understand about what was going on, and then the fact that it happened to our president. Embarrassing as it was, it was entertaining, if that makes sense. Like, I remember, stuff like that happened with OJ. I remember I was a very young kid in school watching OJ on hard copy, like breaking news, with the chase and everything, and that chase lasted until I got home. So that's, that was one, and I'm really happy Ryan Murphy covered, the OJ. Didn't know about the Versace. The Versace to me is one of the greatest pieces of TV that I've ever seen. And then the follow-up with Impeachment. And it really highlighted the three catastrophic breaking news era of our time, of the 90s. Like, it just encapsulated the 90s with OJ, Versace, and Impeachment. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was much of a slow burn for me, but I still was intrigued because of how detailed and deep it was. Like with Linda Tripp, didn't know who she was until I seen Sarah Paulson. Great job playing Linda Tripp. Linda Tripp was really, she couldn't see how vile she was, but she knew how vile she was. Like, and that's why I felt like in the beginning, everybody in the White House was like, man, I don't like Linda Tripp. That's why they let her go, because her boss committed suicide. And it was like, there was no reason for you to be here anyway. So that's why we couldn't wait. And for her to get replaced by one of her best friends, because she was more gorgeous looking, more better looking, that was the first time Linda Tripp ever ran across Bill Clinton in his ways, was with her friend sliding in her spot, because her friend looks at Linda as like, Bill just kissed me, like the president just kissed me, like, uninvited, he just kissed me, and ever since then, she felt the way about the Clintons. And make no mistake, back then we wasn't saying this is the Clintons. That's why I said, I love that small reference of what we say now with the pop culture, as far as referring to Bill and Hillary as, man, that's the Clintons. They inserted that in here. And seeing how Linda was transported to Pentagon and Department of Defense, it's DOD, and then you see, magically Monica Lewinsky is sent there too. So it's basically, they send people to the Pentagon that worked in the White House that this is where your career goes to die. Like, nobody ever hear you anymore. You just over here, you go home, shut up. It's miserable. When you're in the White House, you're center of attention. Everyone, all the roads lead here. You always know what's going on in the West Wing and that type of thing. So Linda ends up, befriending Monica Lewinsky. And I didn't know that deep dive of how eccentric Monica Lewinsky was. Like, and even in the last episode, they show how, when Monica's like, after all of it has happened, she goes back and hears herself like, I sound obsessed. I sound, like she hears herself like, oh my gosh, like and the fact that Linda recorded this innocent girl, although she's going through and quote unquote, this is one of my best friends, is like, how much of a best friend are you if you're recording her? Like, instead of asking or telling this girl she needs help, you need to get help, or say something, this is what you do, is record her, because but I understand, also conflicted with Linda, because Linda was like, I needed this, because if they come after me because of what this girl's done said to me, I need backup. I need full proof to leave me alone. But it's just, when she finds out it's illegal to be recording people, you can't do that. Like, and it was funny how her literary agent was like, you could do that in New York, but she didn't really go through the whole detail, knowing that you can't do that in DC and Maryland. And it was illegal. But at the same time, and you start seeing Paula Jones, and how she going through her despair of You know, she was one of the first ones to speak out about President Clinton before he became president, and continue with her lawsuit and try to, did they try to settle, and was like, no, we want bigger money. So she really had to hold out, and you've seen the effects of all of them at the season ending. You just seeing how all of them is holding out for this lawsuit, and lawsuits, if you've ever been in one, it takes time. That can take a lot of time. And then the fact that you're not working, you can't make money, so it's really starving you. And you've seen Paula was the first one to go to Penthouse. She definitely posed naked and did all that just because she really need money, can't find work. Going back to a little town where everybody know that you done did something with the president. Dude left you, don't want to be with you, can't find any work anywhere, nobody wants to hire you because you're such a big distraction. And same thing with Monica Lewinsky. Now, Monica Lewinsky, when all this happened, was one of the, I must say, like, she attacked it head on. Like, she was a solid chick, wasn't scared of it. Like, man, I'm gonna tell my piece because, this chick, caught me saying all these things on the tape, so I can't lie about it. So I have to, it's basically, she really had to degrade herself to the public based off these conversations she had personally, privately. And it sucks. I tell myself, I'm like, that'll drive anybody so stressed out to suicide, no lie. Like that, back then, nobody cared about that. Nobody cared about your mental illness. So that's why I'm so conflicted, because now we go back and see, like, wow, they really went through a lot. Even Linda Tripp, like, they all went through so much that would have had you in a bind to where it's like, I don't even know if I want to be here anymore type of thing. And you just seen that. And you seen with Bill, and how Bill was very conflicted, how he had to tell Hillary, was very scared. Even to this day, I really felt like he was very scared of Hillary. But I feel like he was scared because he knew he was always in the wrong. And that'll make your wife trip out on you, like, dude, I was taken up, and Hillary went off, like, I defended you, and I felt her pain, because it's like, yeah, you made me look like an ass on TV defending you. You actually did all this stuff. So, it's a public shaming, but that was the first of its kind to ever happen in the presidency. And you can tell these media people, ones that went to school, the Harvards, the Yales, and like Ann Coulter just was, I need something to tear. I want to tear people to shreds. You seen about the Drudge Report. I remember the Drudge Report. I didn't know how he was. I just remember the Drudge Report. I think it still goes on with CNN. But I was just like, man, these people are chomping at the bits because they've never seen anything of this magnitude before. And rightfully so. But you seen how, like, man, that life being in there would drive you insane. And I just seen how I've had a firsthand look at how DC was, and just the politics surrounding the big. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's very stressful, a very stressful environment, and I don't think it's gotten any better than it was back then. So that's why I tell myself, as this was the biggest scandal of the 90s, this was played out really, really well. I really commend all the actors, even with Clive Owen playing Bill Clinton. I really messed up the young lady's name that played Monica Lewinsky. I watched the movie from Booksmart. Crazy how she went from a comedy in Booksmart, like a sassy female version of Superbad, to playing something very dramatic. I feel like she really did what she had to do in this, and it was such a good job, such a good performance. Sarah Paulson as Linda Tripp, always going to give that talented performance. Like, that lady can embody almost anybody she touches. When she feels the right role, she's going to embody it. I respect that. Clive Owen really put on a good performance as Bill Clinton. And I had a good time with this. Like I said, it was a slow burn. Like, Versace was really high-paced, slow down, high-paced. I was so glued to the screen to be like, what is this dude going to do next? Because this dude's a serial killer. So, but with this, it was more of a slow burn to understand the intricacies of what happened and how it played out, especially hearing that Starr report and seeing how vile that report was and how it leaked to the internet. It actually didn't leak. They just posted on the internet. That was the first of its kind. I was saying, like, so much of these things happen, the first of its kind. Like, the first thing that shut the internet down. You know how everybody talks about that now? Like, man, Kim Kardashian shut the internet. They shut the internet down. Kanye West. This was the first thing that shut the internet down. So I got that small reference in that part when they did that. And you just seen I didn't know as a kid, I didn't know the details of Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. I just knew that she gave him a blowjob. That was about it. But this report was much more detailed with the cigar, and I was like, wow, man. And man, it was a lot. That's why I was like, man, this girl really had to come out of, and even seeing how they came out of all of it, where Monica Lewinsky, even to this day, still really couldn't get a job because of her name. Like, her name instantly draws attention, so where you're a distraction. And that's why I'm still telling myself, man, it was a lot they had to endure. It was a whole lot, but I give this a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I really was entertained because I kept telling myself, we all know what happened, but we didn't know the bare details and everything involved. And I was here because it entertained me. So, you guys enjoyed my reaction, or you guys enjoyed my review of Impeachment, American Crime Stories on FX Network. Subscribe to my channel, post a comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D Dyson. Peace.